Hi guys, welcome back to Too Many Opinions. This is Jeannie.
This is Sarah.
And Sarah, do you want to tell them what today's episode is going to be about?
Today's episode is really about the concept of, do women need to get a man's consent in order to have a child? What? We literally just saw a clip of this on TikTok.
Right, which she's going to play.
We're going to play that for you.
A woman cannot have a child unless the man agrees to it.
Basically saying that unless a man consents and signs off on the right to basically pregnancy or to have this child before even the child comes out, like you need to go to the government, fill out documentation. This is the expected father, have them do the blood test. And then if not, they decide that they want to be a part of the child's life and they decide to sign off on the paper, then yes, they'll take care of it. But if they decide not to, they do not want the child, then all rights should be waived and he shouldn't be responsible to pay child support or take care of his kid.
This is why women need to protect themselves.
Yes.
This is why, because when women realize that they're the ones that are fucked when it comes to being a parent, realize that shit. I don't give a shit, and I don't care about other scenarios. I don't care about what ifs and that. For the most part, women are the ones that are fucked during childbirth, during becoming a mom, during raising a child, the whole 9 yards.
Yep, because women are expected to nurture and love and care, be the caretaker for the child, etc., right? But what gets me about this whole topic is that there's going to be plenty of defenses as to why this is okay or why it should be. But my thing is like a woman could be on birth control during this act of sex where she gets pregnant, and birth control is only 91% effective. 91%. So they could be taking their birth control every single day, and maybe your guy's shooting up the club and he has a good day and they're super strong, fast swimmers. They make it. Then what? So it's her fault because you shut up the club.
It's always the woman's fault. You didn't know that?
But it's like, you shut up the club, bro.
Yeah, it's always the woman's fault. It's always. So then my thing is, first of all, you are not consenting. It's not about consenting before like having a baby or not. This is a conversation that I always say needs to be had before you have sex with a guy for the first time. Before you have before you have sex with a guy for the first time, this conversation needs to be had.
Absolutely.
So I'm sorry if you had a one night stand. It needs to be had because you need to know where a man stands. What if something happens?
Right.
What if like you said, what if I'm taking birth control and your sperm is super strong and you didn't wear a fucking condom?
Right. So if that's the scenario, why do I need to get your consent when you know that the outcome of you shooting up the club can potentially get me pregnant?
We both know what it is to have sex. We both know the risks
of that
after having sex.
When you have, when the deed is done, you know that there's only two outcomes: pregnant, not pregnant. That's it.
Or STDs or not STDs, or the list goes on and on and on. You guys both know what can happen after sex. We both know. So it's not about consenting at all. We both know.
And if you're that worried, right, about consenting or having your female partner consent before getting pregnant, whatever, why don't you take male birth control? It's 2022. They came out with a trial drug. There's male birth control. There's vasectomies. There's condoms. So if you're that concerned about getting a woman pregnant, why don't you go ahead and get the vasectomy? A 5-minute treatment. Surgical thing.
She trapped me. She lied to me. She told me she was on birth control. Shut the hell up with that shit.
Like, bro, if it wasn't for your sperm, I wouldn't be pregnant.
Like, if you as a man did not want to have a child, you should have wore a condom. It's not all about the woman. She told me she was on birth control. What about your condom?
Right. And it's like, oh, the condom broke. Okay, so why didn't you pull out and put a new one in? Why'd you keep going? Why didn't you keep going?
But you could have, if the condom broke, you could have easily right there slipped up and had a baby right there. This is why you have to have the conversation. If this happens, how are we going to proceed just in case?
Right. And if you're not in the same page, then why would you go ahead and proceed and have intercourse?
Exactly. Because there's women like me, for example, that I will never get an abortion.
Right.
I mean, let's say if I was being irresponsible, I don't believe in abortions. You know what I'm saying? If something else happens, like, the other deed where it was involuntarily and you became pregnant, that's different. I'm not talking about that. But I'm talking about being irresponsible. So you need to know as a woman, if you're having sex with me, I don't believe in abortion, so you know I'm gonna have this kid. So what are you gonna do? Are you gonna still fuck with me?
Right.
You shouldn't fuck with me then, because if something happens, you know you're about to be a dad.
Right. So if you decide that you don't want kids, and you know that that's my standpoint, because that's also mine, that it's like I would not put myself in a position, and if something like that happens, I also would not have an abortion. Like that's just me personally, and everybody's entitled to do what they want. We're not judging you if that's what you do. That's your prerogative, your thing. But if I tell you from the get, I'm not on birth control, I don't believe in this, and you decide that you continue, and an accident like that happens,
now you know.
Now you know. There's no consent. You shut up the club. 1 + 1 = 2.
I think it is so wrong though how the law allows a man to sign over rights.
How?
Like, okay, I don't want it, so I'm gonna sign a paper. I don't want it. Figure it out.
You can sign off rights, but then you still need to be financially responsible for your child.
I thought that you couldn't.
I mean,
I thought that if you signed off rights, you're done. You don't got to do nothing with the kid.
And I guess I also guess there's a thing, if they're not on the birth certificate, they're not responsible to pay child support.
No.
But my thing is, it's like, I understand why there's certain perspectives on why women decide not to have the father of their child on birth certificates. I personally wouldn't be with somebody I would even question. You know what I mean? Like, those thoughts wouldn't even cross my mind. Like, if I'm going to have your child, right? Like, why would we even be having that conversation? But I can understand there's certain situations why. But my thing is like, it takes two to tango. So why am I going to be the one stuck raising our child together, and you're just going to act as though this our child doesn't exist, or you're just going to continue? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. It's not okay.
I also saw something on Facebook the other day. I had to repost. I had to repost it because it was baffling. So a guy put like the screenshots of him telling his baby mother, like, they're about to take my my income tax because I owe child support. Like, you need to give me that money when they take it away.
What? Wait a second, sir. Sir, why didn't you?
So you owe me money because I'm taking care of our kid by myself, and now income tax season's rolling around, and now you think that when they take it out of your check, because they will, I'm about to give it back to you?
Absolutely not.
Like, in what world are men really living in?
That is baffling to me. That, honest to God, is 1,000% baffling to me, because it's like, as a man, why wouldn't you want to provide for your child? Not the mother, your child. Formula is $45 to $50, give or take, a can. Do you know how much formula you go through in a week? Yeah. Probably like 2, depending on how you could have a baby who eats a lot, maybe 2.5. Okay, diapers, again, $45. Wipes, $40.
Yo, and another thing they'll complain that I hear all the time. Oh, why should I pay child support for her to pay her rent? That's not fair. I'm supposed to be only taking care of my child, not the mom too. Sir, your child, if the child lives with the mom, who cares what the mom is using the child support money for if it's gonna be beneficial to your child?
Right. But the funny part about that conversation is like 9 times out of the 10, the men who are saying those comments are probably giving their $25, $50, $75 a week. Bro, your $75 a week, I can guarantee, is not helping the mother of your child pay for her rent.
Nothing.
It's barely covering diapers or updated clothes, because these kids be growing like weeds, girl.
Weekly, though.
Woohoo! Weekly. Still, $75. Milk is like fucking $10 right now. Look at eggs. So it's like your child has to eat. They need electricity. Mm-hmm. They need hot water. They need all of that.
Absolutely. But I also think women need to be held responsible. If you know that the man is telling you from get, I do not want kids, I don't want this, and you become pregnant, that's gonna be on you.
Oh, I agree.
I'm so sorry.
You need to take accountability for your actions, knowing that this man told you from the jump that he didn't want kids, he wasn't ready, and he wasn't financially prepared for that. So as a woman, you should know, if that's what you want a child, okay, fine. That's not the person for you, because they're not going to be there for you financially. They're not going to... What do you expect of them?
Right.
If they're telling you what it is.
And not only that, but if they're telling you what it is, like if you had that conversation, let's say you're just talking to a guy and you had that conversation that he's blatantly telling you, I don't want to be a dad, and you guys are fooling around, you're exposing yourself to becoming a single mother.
Yep.
Because he's telling you from off rip, I don't want to be a dad, and you still are choosing to fuck with him. Meaning, if something was to happen, that's still on you, because he's telling you. I mean, yeah, he should still be held responsible, because having sex with someone
If you're shooting up the club.
If you're shooting up the club, the big possibility of you becoming a dad, it's a lot greater. You know what I'm saying? But you as a mom can't help, like, expect him to be a great dad because he's telling you off rip, I don't want to be a dad.
Right.
So a man like that tells me something like that, and I know that there's a big chance of an accident happening. I would be like, you know what? I think me and you are just, I'm all set. Because if something was to happen and I don't agree in abortion, I'm going to be fucked in this situation. Right. So I'm going to skedaddle out of it.
And I'm going to say thank you for your time. You're a great person. I have no hard feelings toward you, but why would I subject myself to something like that? God forbid that happens.
And then you got people that don't like condoms. And then you got people that are allergic. And then you got so you really, really, really got to literally before, and I know it's hard because sometimes you just be in the moment and shit happens.
Right.
But you really, as an adult, I get it, younger, but please, if you're young, please listen to us. Like,
yes.
Please figure out if a guy is willing to be a dad if something was to happen.
It's important because being a parent in general, I was going to say a mom, but being a parent in general is not easy. It's not all rainbows and butterfly. It's not all just the happy baby. Of course, you're going to have like joyous moments with your children, but there's also trying times. Your child's sick. They can't communicate yet. They're babies. Mm-hmm. You have to guess. You have to figure it out. Now you're sitting here by yourself. Trying to solve this problem or figure out what's wrong with your child, and it's like you don't have your partner to lean on or rely on. It's like that takes a whole.
Yeah, and please know that like it's very important. A child needs both parents.
Yes.
And not only the child, but a spouse needs the other spouse. It's so hard. This job was not meant to be for a single parent. Yep. For a single mom, for a single dad. This was meant to be a unit. A unit. So at least if you guys are not together, not getting along or whatever, if you can at least come up with a co-parenting to help each other out, that's key. Because honestly, this job is not meant for one person.
It's not.
So please communicate before having fun, before having sex. Communicate, if something was to happen, I am on birth control and you are wearing a condom, or I am on birth control and you're shooting up the club. Please realize that I'm a type of girl that I don't believe in this and I don't believe in that. Are you willing to be a dad if something happens? Because I'm not going to get rid of it.
Right.
Oh, nah, I'm not. All right, so me and you, I think
we're cool. We're friends. That's it.
Cool. Because I'm telling you right now, it's going to be a problem.
And plus, I feel like just on this topic, like when you give yourself to somebody, you're exchanging energies. So it's like if you understand that person doesn't want that and you still continue. Like,
it's on you, sis.
Sis, you made that decision.
It's on you.
You're really responsible for everything that's happening right now.
Because that's the thing. Women can't just blame men all the time for everything.
No, I agree.
You got to be smarter because at the end of the day, you're the one giving birth. Your body's the one exposed. You're the one that could possibly like die while giving birth. Mm-hmm. It's on you. At the end of the day, that's one thing. We spoke about gender roles last episode. But this episode, this is something that like I can't just give a man to do. I can't just give a man the rights to give birth.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like this is something only a woman can do. So you as a woman need to be like on top of that shit because it's on you.
Absolutely. And when you're pregnant, everything that you experience emotionally, physically, your child is also experiencing. They feel everything when they're inside the room. You're stressed, they're stressed.
That's crazy.
Your blood pressure is up, their blood like it's not, they're relaxed, chilling, and you're stressed. No, that's not the case. If you're with a partner who's not loving you, like all of those things come into play. You know what I mean? So it's like, just be smart, ladies. Be smart, guys. Pick the right partners. Know that if something happens, like you need to be there for your partner, or decide that if you guys aren't on the same page, let it go. Move on.
Honestly, or if you're in a situation where it's too late, you didn't communicate that in the beginning. Take responsibility. It is what it is. You did what you did.
The deed's
you know
done.
What I'm saying? The deed is done. Show up for your kid, bro. That little baby did not decide to come to this world. You decided to put it here.
Right.
So you need to decide to figure it out. Mm-hmm. Stop being petty with each other. You know what I'm saying? If it didn't work out, okay, it didn't work out. But get in line for that child.
Yeah, it's marching orders. When it comes to children, it's marching orders. Everybody has to be in the same. There's no more egos. There's no more nothing. The main priority should always be the child.
And honestly, I feel like I don't want to speak for most women, and I'm not a mom yet. But if in the future, I don't want to have to put my partner on child support, bro.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to do that. So can you be fair? Can we be fair and come to an understanding? Okay, I'm gonna help you out with this, and this, and let's get along. Because that's a hassle to have to go to a car, to have to do this, and then on top of that, you're cheating out on your child because a lot of the times, the woman don't get shit. I know a few women that don't get shit.
I actually know somebody who their partner, their like father, mother of the children, they have an agreement. It's only basically child support until they're in school. Meaning, so that way the child support can help with the daycare costs while they're both working. And then once they enter elementary school, the child support drops, and then they each provide for their child. And I'm like, wow, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
It's perfect. I also seen something though that said, like, let's say a couple, they're not together no more, they have a kid, and it's 50-50. Why does the other person have to pay child support?
I think it's because where the child resides. Because even though it's 50-50, there's like 50-50 legal and then 50-50 physical, right? Physical custody is where the child stays. So if it's 50-50 legal, that means both parents get to decide and make decisions for their child, the school, they can be in appointments, whatever. And then there's physical custody where the child mainly stays. So that's why.
Oh, okay. Well, then I guess that's fair. Yeah, that's
right?
fair.
I mean, of course, it's 50-50 in the sense of we're both making decisions for your child, right? But then where the child stays, that's why.
So essentially, the other parent is basically paying more.
Right. But if it could be the other way, where because we know families where the child wants to be with the dad.
Oh yeah,
right.
That's been a thing lately.
It's normal. We know several dads who have their children.
I did not know that. How would you feel if your son grew up and like, let's say he was like a 10 and decided like, I want to live with my dad now?
I would be.
Would you allow that?
I would, of course. I would be devastated.
Wow. I told my boyfriend that. I was like,
I would be devastated. My heart would be completely broken.
I would like literally say, no, you're not,
But I feel like children need their parents. They need both of them. So if he wants the change, would it kill me inside? 100%.
I think
but I would support him.
That's dope of you, but I don't know. I'm not a mom yet, so I don't know. But I feel like
tears to my literally my eyes get watery just thinking about it. I'm not even lying.
I feel like I would not be able to. But let's say this. Let's say you live in Providence, the baby daddy lives in Boston or New York, and they want to live with their dad. You would allow that? I mean, motherfucker, you ain't going nowhere. You gonna see your daddy in the weekends, and that's that. You kidding me? No, I'm not allowing it. I don't think I could. I think I could.
If he made it that clear to me that he wanted to be able to spend like more time like that,
but let's say it's you're being like a more stricter parent, and the dad's more lenient, and that's why they want to leave.
Ooh.
I think let's say if it's for a sport, like it's more convenient. Like you can present as a child, you can present a case to me,
right,
saying what it is and why. Okay, but if it's because I'm being like a, like I don't know, more like a stricter parent.
Thankfully, that's the thing. Like that's one thing I have to say is that in my situation, we're on the same page as far as raising our son.
Strictness.
You know what I mean? Like we're on the same page. We have the schedule. Like we're in sync. You know what I mean?
Okay.
If that was to happen and he was to move and he was to tell me, Jace was like, that's my son's name. He was like, oh, I want to go with dad for 6 months out of the year. Then I think I would probably relocate so I could be closer to them.
That's what I was kind of trying to get at, because there's moms that'll be like, all right, they start a new life and now the kid wants to leave with their dad and the dad lives across the country. Okay, go. Like, I can't do that. I can't see I can't, as a mom, I wouldn't be able to see my kid once a fucking year.
I can't even, whenever he's away from me, I get choked up. So never mind, you know what I mean? Like I would have to be close, and that's going to be a tough conversation, and I'm going to really have
that's you saying that, like, that makes you such a great mom to be like, you know what? I'll leave everything and I'll just move closer to my kids so I can see him more.
That's my baby. So and I always put my son above everything else.
Right.
So, and that's literally everything. I mean, you know me, I have a schedule, like I don't play around. So it's like,
yeah.
I would do that. And It would be crazy because I would literally have to up and leave my
You see the situations that you get into when you decide to have a kid? Mm-hmm. This is why women, please, I am like almost begging you, please think about it.
Yeah.
Think about your partners, although sometimes it's a perfect guy and then you have a kid and shit hits the fan, you know what I'm saying? Like, that shit happens all the time. I see that shit time and time again. So it's not, but at least try to be as prepared as possible.
Yeah.
As prepared as possible.
Be prepared for the worst, but expect the best.
Yeah, perfectly said.
You know what I mean? Like, you just never know. Be ready to be able to provide whenever you need to. But just pray, because at the end of the day, God rules all. So it's like, that's whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And,
that's true. It's just, but again,
be smart.
Yeah, be smart, because if there's guys that blatantly tell you, yo, this is what's up.
Yeah.
This is what it is.
And girl, if he tells you that and you still follow through, that's on you. I'm sorry.
And if she tells you that she's willing to be a mom and wants to be a mom and you don't want to, you shouldn't be fucking with her either.
Period. period. And that's when you men need to be accountable for your actions, and you shooting up the club knowing that this girl wants children. So if this happens,
You know she's gonna keep it.
She's keeping it, and now you're a dad, or you're a second time dad. I know
Exactly.
these men be shooting up the club, and they could be like, oh, I don't want kids, but then still shoot up the club knowing that the girl is not on birth control.
Don't even try to pull out.
Right. So it's like, if you know that the girl's not on birth control and you're still shooting up the club and she gets pregnant, bro, it's your fault. Take care of your kid now.
It's time to be a dad. You're the pappy.
Yep.
You're the pappy.
Be a good pappy now. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for this topic. But if you guys want to hear anything else, just
Yeah, let us know.
let us know.
Till next time.
Bye.
Bye.